Ooh, that's nice. Oh, it's
You see, your dad was right. Nothing's happened.
this is stressful.
Yeah, beautiful, Evie. Notice that sitting in silence for the mind can be torture.
I like
Like,
it. I do it often.
yeah, but it's like the mind wants, like, come on, hurry up, let's do something.
Just feels like being in church when you just like so quiet for ages or do like a minute of silence.
Well, how do you feel about silence, Evie? Do you like silence?
Yeah, I like being quiet. Nice.
It is something she said quite a few times when we've, had a talk. She'll say, "No, I'm okay with just nothing." She said many a time. She said, "Oh no, I'll just lay in bed and not doing anything, not listen to music, not doing anything. Just it's okay." Which outwardly you'd never think because she's quite gregarious and outgoing and all the rest of it. But yeah, and we have these conversations where I might point at something. Not on purpose, because I mean, as you know, nothing's on purpose. But it just come up and she'll say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, Dad, I know." She'll just go, "Yeah, I know." And then I remember one morning I said something, and she goes, "Yeah, but duh, you can't talk about this."
Ah,
And then she just sat there and went, "There's nothing to say." She said, "If I want to go there and speak about it, it's like,"
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. That's like when you try to explain in like, because I'm like solipsism, where I think that like nothing else exists except for like me in this body.
Mm.
Wow,
And then you were
solipsism.
trying to explain something, and you're like, "Oh, well, that's your opinion." And I was like, "It doesn't. I don't care if you say that's my opinion. That is like what I know in my body. So it's like it doesn't matter what anyone gives any other opinion." I'm like, "Well, you're wrong for a start, because that's what is
Yeah.
like true to me. And if it's true to me, then that's the only truth."
Yeah.
Because
beautiful.
Yeah.
But you can
yeah,
It's
be quiet. You can be quiet inside and outgoing at the same time.
yeah, yeah,
I think for someone of, 15 years old to recognize or to go through a solipsistic phase or to, have that sense that reality is solely focused on self and nothing else, everyone else appearing is part is you, even though it's still sensed solipsistically rather than, there being no self at all. I still think that's quite a significant kind of
I always knew
shift.
that that was what it was for me. I just never knew how to get it out. And then someone had mentioned solipsism, and I googled it, and I was like, "Oh me!" I was like, "Thank you, a word."
Yeah. So what does me feel like for you?
It changes like every day because it's
So what doesn't change every day?
like the past and what I know to be what's made me me. Because every day is like something new, and so I'm whatever is happening in that moment, whatever experience I'm having, I'm just reacting. But I also it's kind of based off of whatever's in my past. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So the me's fluid, dynamic, and temporary, always changing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what isn't?
Nothing. Surely everything's moving or not moving at all. I don't know.
That's kind of what we're doing here, is asking that question to a certain degree, or pointing to that, looking at that which doesn't move, which is permanent, which has no limits, boundaries, has no shape, has no direction, isn't an inside or an outside, can't be explained.
Like everything. Like this.
Yeah.
Because like that's how like I struggle sometimes when I can't see like if it's close up or far away because it's so like
Immediate.
2D.
Yeah.
And it's just like in front of me.
Yeah.
That's also I think why I'm like kind of dyslexic because I can't. It's all just there. I can't like focus on stuff.
Yeah, I think I remember Michael once pointing out about a cup, and he said, looking at the cup and said, "There's no back to it."
Yeah.
Or the fridge. Was the fridge as well?
Yeah.
He said something about the fridge.
Well,
So,
the first. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, first I noticed that just kind of out of nowhere, the fridge I couldn't see all the sides to it. No matter what angle I looked at the fridge, I could only see a portion. And then I started looking around the room and I was like, oh, that's true for every object, including the body. Like you've never seen your entire body.
Yeah. It's like, you know, in Coraline, where she tries to escape the house, she walks away, and then everything like disintegrates, and she walks back, and she just reaches the house again.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you turn around,
Yeah.
everything that's behind me, like, isn't there.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it's like trying to catch your own reflection, like.
Yeah.
You know?
Jeannie would say it's the rendering, wouldn't she?
In a video game.
In a video
Right.
game.
There's nothing behind you.
But it even makes sense, right? Because if you're looking to the right, there's no reason for the left to be rendered because you're looking to the right. That's
Can't see your own face except as a reflection in the mirror.
Yeah.
Which is very much the Douglas Harding thing, isn't it? Where that moment of, there's the screen, there's a cup, there's a chair, what's this? And then, when you do look in the mirror, you realize that the mirror, the reflection, and everything you see is your projection. So you never see that head. It doesn't exist.
So freaky.
It is. You wonder.
I know what I look like, and it's like, no. No, I don't.
Yeah. Well, you can notice this. Like Douglas Harding would say, my face is here for you guys. He goes, from my vantage point, I don't see a face. So like he was funny about it because, he was turning 90 and he would apologize for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had those moments where it's almost like the wind gets or the breath gets sucked out of you when you have an immediate realization of something like that. And I remember having that with the first time I came across Douglas Harding. That was just that, of course, moment.
Yeah, well, because here's the key to Douglas Harding, and in fact, all the things, you have to actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's absolutely key. You've got to keep on doing it. Not just talking about it. You have to like regularly and systematically keep going back to that fundamental non-changing, unchanging.
Thinking about death again the other day because I do that once a week. I like to scare myself and just feel like, oh, we're all gonna die, and then I'm like, but it's not real, but it is, but it's not. It's like whatever. And then I was thinking about, like if you get like blackout drunk or you pass out, and it's like you do the whatever you do, you pass out, whatever, you wake up and then you can't remember what happened. So it's like it pretty much never happened anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where I've settled on like it's gonna happen, but
But
I'm gonna be gone, so it's not gonna matter anyway. If that makes sense, because it's like I'm not gonna be conscious of it.
yeah, consciousness doesn't need an object for it to be conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone anywhere though? Have you ever gone anywhere?
No. So I don't know. This is death
There you
as well
go.
as life,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's just gonna be. Oh, it's so like you can't wrap your head around it, because it's like when it comes to an end, does it come to an end?
Did it begin?
Did it begin? Yeah, exactly. Or is it just like?
Mm.
But again, like when you like pass out and then you can't remember it, so it's just like doesn't happen anyway.
Mm. Yeah, precisely. It doesn't.
So
Yeah.
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 So are birth and death really two things?
Well, no.
You can't you can't have you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
Whatever is born will die.
Well, maybe it's neither, and nothing borns, births, or dies. Hashtag Ouroboros.
No one ever experienced birth. No one ever experienced death.
Yeah.
Evie said then, she said, hashtag Ouroboros.
Stupid.
Hey, Cedric.
Hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
Welcome.
Good.
So I had a moment earlier, just kind of lying in bed, where suddenly it was that kind of, do you know what? There's not even a story happening. You know, we'll say, oh, there's the story, and it's like there's not even a story happening. They're just, you know, there is no movement, there is no story, there is, you know, it was just complete and you know, absolute simplicity. Just no, there's no description, there's nothing happening ever.
So easy to go. I forget what the word is, but when you're like nothing matters anyway, sod it
Oh,
all.
nihilism.
Nihilism. It's so easy to go like, well, I don't care. Flip you.
That's a stage.
I feel like
Well,
it's
it can be. Yeah.
because sometimes I'm like, oh my god, why are people doing what they're doing? It literally isn't even real. Like, it doesn't matter. And then I'm like, oh, whatever. Because you have to like experience life or whatever.
Well, that's what the mind, yeah, that's what the mind wants, isn't it? The story. The mind wants the story.
Yeah.
And wants to believe in it.
You know, the other day I was, I don't know why, but these memories came to me of, what I was doing like 20 years ago. And I had some some memories of just being in certain situations, like being at home and stuff like that. And it occurred to me that these memories were just completely dead. There was no life in them. So I was thinking about myself living in this apartment, and I thought to myself, wow, how could I have lived up like that? It seemed so boring and uneventful. But of course, at the time, it was perfectly okay. But but the memory of it seemed to be completely dead because there was no presence to go along with the memory. You understand what I'm saying? The presence and the awareness of what was happening at the time was completely gone. So it was just like a dead memory. It was like I mean, it just wasn't real at all. And it just particularly struck me that whatever I thought about in terms of what I was doing back in those days, it looked to me from just a memory point of view as if it was somehow unsatisfactory. But at the time it wasn't. But it's just that the memory is completely devoid of the presence of it. So it seemed like it was just some kind of dead imagery that didn't have any life to it, as a memory. Does that kind of resonate in any way?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only presence there ever will be is just this right now.
That's interesting that you say that, because I was thinking today, I was looking back over my life when I was meditating and seeing all the different times of my life and the important people in my life and the different situations, and I saw them as real when they occurred, and that they were real. There was a purpose for me now, learning whatever I learned from those situations. But the point, but I was told, well, but to come out of there though, and get here, like get into present time. But that the past, it was very clear. I was looking at this person, that person, all these people who shaped my life, and it was like, and I was able to say thank you to all of them in a meditative state. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it was it wasn't just it. It was something. It wasn't nothing. It was something, and for me, it
Yes.
had a great purpose in the growth over here. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, Don. I'm not saying that those memories, for me, didn't mean something,
Right.
or that those relationships, were purposeful or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that the aliveness of the memory was gone. The presence and the aliveness of it. But I'm not denying that. I'm not saying, oh, it was meaningless. I'm just saying that the life of the memory wasn't there anymore. There was something dead about it. But that isn't to deny that those memories were precious in some way, or they were purposeful. Not saying that at all.
Got it.
I think what I find from that is that in both situations, it feels like there's the two sides of the coin there. The one side is, oh, there's nothing here, nothing ever happened, and it doesn't matter. It's okay, of course. And then the other side is like, oh, everything happened. It's so real, and everything really does matter. There's still very much the duality of that moment, but cast from either side. So there's quite an opportunity to reflect on what judgment is at play in either the emptiness or the fullness, and see who it is that's observing that, who's aware of that aspect, both perspectives, if you like.
That's beautiful.
Because that memory of 20 years ago applies equally to a memory from 2 minutes ago.
I don't know. I just feel like when you thinking about stuff in the past, you don't remember like how you felt in your body, or like what sounds were going on, or like what you were thinking in that exact moment, like what song was stuck in your head. And then when you're thinking back on it, it's just like rewatching a TV show, but you're not like, you can't think of it how it was in the moment, and so it's kind of just like, oh, that doesn't have the same attachment to it. And then you also know like these people shaped my past and my future, so you know like I have feelings toward this, and like I feel gratitude towards it, whatever. But it's like you're still not like, well, you know that you should feel like, oh, that happened and I'm happy, but
Yeah, I think for me, it's everything to do with language. It's everything to do with words, because it's the formation of language and the formation of the ability to speak that is never free of emotional attachment. And as we see further into language and how it kind of holds us into a personal sense of self due to that emotional attachment, as they break down, there's less personal self involved, and there's more presence to witness, even to feel. I'm not a visual individual. I don't see memories. I feel them. I can see photographs of me, say 45 years ago, and I don't know who that is in the photograph. Similarly, when I look in the mirror, I actually don't know who that is. But if I remember or feel in the body the emotion of the moment when the photograph was taken, then there'll be some sense of, oh, there was a me there. It's like, oh, I remember that. I remember that version, that Paul, and who was there. But I have those moments, but definitely when I look in the mirror and there's no recognition of what's there at all.
I often like forget what I look like, and then I've had such like a range of emotions, or like felt so much or seen so much in a day, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, bruh, what is this? Like, this doesn't resonate with how I have felt on the inside.
Yeah.
But talking about emotions, Paul, if somebody made you angry, 1 year ago, then it's likely, or 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. Somebody made you angry for some reason. When you look at it now, you're likely to kind of, because of the distance, you're likely to think, oh yeah, you might even think it was funny. You might take an opposite reaction to it. But it's still possible to think about somebody who, say, made you angry and still kind of imagine that anger in some way, although it doesn't have the same kind of life that it had at the moment.
Yeah,
It's still
I would say
possible to be attached to the memory.
Yeah, I would say that's where memory is one of those things for me that I do find is almost not totally empty, but it's one of those areas where I sit and go, well, it's very difficult to find a me in a memory. There's no relationship to the past or an individual with it. It's like seeing different lifetimes, if you like. It's like saying, well, I really don't know who that individual
It's like,
was.
in movies.
Yeah, it's like a work of fiction.
Yeah. But it doesn't, how you can watch a good fiction, and even that can be enjoyable. There's,
But
it really
that's
goes back.
actually, sorry. No, I was
No,
just saying
it
that's a
goes
good
back to
point.
what you
That's
were
a good
saying about the emptiness of memories, and
yeah.
how, in some ways, I think for me, and that probably is what you were explaining, and I haven't understood it, is that if there's no me present there, or there's no me present here in that moment, then it can be lifeless. It can be
That's a
totally.
good way of putting it. Yeah. I didn't say that, but what you just said is a very good way of putting it. There's no me now that was in that memory.
Yeah.
But also that's a good pointer, isn't it? Because if you imagine anger that you felt in the past, then you can say, well, that anger is not real. It's totally imagined, because it's not associated with something that's happening right now. And therefore, it was totally fictional. And the pointer is that even if you're feeling anger now about something that's happening, that it's also imagined. Because
Yeah.
you could imagine a totally fictional character. You could make up in your mind a totally fictional character, and you could just imagine a story that this character made you feel angry, and you would actually feel that anger. You could actually feel it, but you would know that it's not real because it's being directed towards a fictional character. So the pointer is that any anger, even if it seems to be associated with something, real, is also imagined.
Yeah, I mean, it's all characterless. That's the reality. Whether you can apply a character now or to the past in any sense of
Yeah.
individuation, the reality is no, that's just anger appearing. It's the sky. There's thunder in the sky. There's lightning. It's like it's just it's happening, but it's not happening. It's apparent,
And as
but
soon as
it's
it
not.
appears, it's
It's
already
done.
in the past.
It's done. Yeah, yeah.
You can't get hold of it.
No, precisely. Yeah. I remember I was sitting, I had a friend, he came and stayed with his young son. And this guy, he likes a smoke. He likes, a big joint. And I was sat kind of over here and he was sat here. He'd been outside, had this big fat joint. And he sat here. And I have this kind of clairsentience or, this, I can feel other people in my body. And I suddenly started to feel a bit high. And I'm looking at him as like, whew, and he suddenly started to look like he was in a bad condition, and he was kind of like this. Then he was crying, and I just sat watching him, and he looked at me, and I was just watching him, and he was trying to speak and then crying, and then the room was just like um one of those IMAX 360-degree cinemas. It's like reality then just took on this bubble. And I knew in that moment that anything outside what I could see was imagination. The only things that were happening, this room, this guy.
I feel like that all the time.
Not all the time, no.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was involved in this moment of trip with him. And then later on, trying to discuss it with him, he had no awareness of that at all. He was just completely appreciative of the fact that I didn't try to put him right. He said I was crying, and he says, and you didn't. I said, wait, it had nothing to do with me. I said, it's just, there's tears, there's emotion. It's like, it has nothing to do with me, nothing at all. It was just, and actually I thought it was quite beautiful, but yeah, it was, the universe was just us two in this room. Nothing else existed, nothing at all, and there was an obvious bridge. If you wanted to suggest there was a moon outside, you would have to employ imagination to do it, and you knew you would have to do that. It was very clear.
I assume that's how everyone felt.
So
this is why when I go to mum's, I don't message you. If I'm here, I don't message mum. I don't, because nothing, we might as well be cemented in this room. This is why it's like,
yeah,
because there's nothing else, and I just forget. If I stay in like one place for longer than a day, I'm like, I might as well live here. All my stuff is gone. This is me right now, because I just don't hold an attachment to like.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
I thought everyone felt that way, because like, we might as well genuinely be cemented in this room, like in the floor, because this is the universe right now.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like if you can't see it, well, it's not there.
Right. So yeah, beautiful. So if you're in a room and that's all your whole consciousness is there, that's all that's available to you.
Yeah.
My question is, I've been thinking about, for you, for that person there, no, not that. If you're there and just focus there, is there a moon?
No, nothing outside of what my peripheral and everything can see. Like,
right, I get that, but my question is there a moon? I mean, it's not in your awareness. I get that, but does that mean there's no moon? Because okay, so what if I'm just playing here. What if I only saw the moon, didn't see anything else. You only, in that room, you're seeing just what you see. I'm only seeing the moon. Well, is anything real? Nothing real? What?
It's if you like, if we take on the idea of the virtual reality, then everything's held in memory in the buffer. So everything's available in the buffer. Everything is available in the buffer. And then when you wish to render it, yeah, when I say you, I'm talking about this. When this wishes to render it, it can do so through what appears to be a pinpointed location, an in or an out, a you or a me.
Okay.
And it renders anything from that buffer for the experience of time and space.
Okay. Yeah, so everything,
Paul,
everything is available.
Yeah, everything's available. Yeah, yeah.
So there is a moon, even if you're not seeing
unmanifest potential. The unmanifest potential of all things is always available. Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, Don, there are some physicists who say that we're in a simulation.
Right.
And if we were in a simulation, it would be a waste of microprocessing power to render everything if you're not seeing it. So the theory is that what you see is only rendered when you need to see it, just to save on microprocessing power if you're in a simulation.
Yeah, I think a good example is like a hotel, like when you see a Western scene, they don't really have a saloon. It's a nailed sign with a record playing can music and like a guy spilling out with a beer. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you see the back of the set on a Western town. It's just a kind of flat thing with just the features on the front. Yeah, yeah.
Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Like
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Truman Show. Yeah.
Oh, Truman Show. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to work when I was in the military. I worked with large data sets, so satellite imagery, digital mapping, and in the early 2001, there was a breakthrough in technology that allowed you to show an image for just the size it was that it would take up on the screen. So basically what it meant was a screen's worth of image was 256 bytes. Instead of, in my world, it was a terabyte of data. And every time I wanted to show the terabyte of data on the screen, it had to read the terabyte and it had to render the terabyte. And so there was a breakthrough in technology that allowed a snapshot of it to be shown, which then meant I could now put terabytes of information available across a network for people to see. And we moved into rendering. So I don't know if that's significant, but we
it's like
made
streaming.
a quantum leap. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like streaming. You've got the whole movie. You've got the whole movie on a drive, but you're streaming.
Yeah.
Second by second.
It was a quantum leap in what we were doing in terms of computing power and how we were doing it, and it just made me wonder. Has this kind of this dream intelligence, did it make a quantum leap? Did it stop trying to process everything and made this quantum leap so that it renders and knows it's rendering?
Well, the theory is that AI could create a perfect simulation in time, which means it already has, and we're in it.
Yeah, I read that theory probably 30 years ago when sat in a dentist's office, when read it in a magazine. And then I remember probably 7 or 8 years ago, they said, we have just finished the first simulation of our universe. So they're running full-blown computer simulations of this universe already and have been doing for 7 or 8 years. So when you see that and realize it, the idea was, well, if you can imagine it, it's already being done and has been done, and you're living in it.
Although I read something very recently, just in the last week, from some physicist who proved that we weren't in a simulation because of some mathematical formula which I can't for the life of me be able to explain. But anyway, there you go. Anyway, if we are or not, it doesn't make much difference. You still got to, wash the dishes and take the garbage out,
See, I'm so like, well, I'm the only guy here, that it's just like I really don't care what anyone like has all their theories, because I'm like, well, I kind of already know it, which sounds like really like ignorant and like selfish. I don't mean to be like I'm God, but like I'm the projector.
Yeah.
So therefore, to me, nothing else.
Yeah.
There's not like 8 billion projectors. There's just one, and it happens to be going through me right now. Which is pretty cool.
That is the fundamental solipsistic viewpoint. But it's the opposite way around completely. There is one projector. It's just not being projected through you. There is no you.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
The body. Well, I don't know. Language is so limiting. I wish I could just be like, and then everyone would like understand, because I hate using words. Because then it's like,
who knows?
You get what I mean, though.
Who knows there is no you? Who knows there is no you?
No one. That's it.
So annoying. I want to get my point across using correct language, but it doesn't exist.
No. There's no you. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Language is the limitation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. You could just play with that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, for a 15-year-old, you sound like a very mature soul.
Look at this guy. Well, you never treat me like a child, so I never had to like dumb myself down.
No, I never chose to change my language, the context or anything for the youngest two particularly. It was more a case of I just spoke to them in a way. Yeah, I just never dumbed anything down. So, we've always had these really open conversations, which have just it leads to this kind of dialogue, which is phenomenal. She's still very much a teenage girl, and that's the wonder of the duality of things, isn't it? We can be whatever. It's very fluid and very dynamic. We can be whatever appears in the moment.
Because I'm like, I could sit here and just be like so nihilistic all the time, or I could just like play along and just like enjoy my time here.
You'll be perfectly okay as long as you can drag yourself away from TikTok. As long as you don't become obsessed by TikTok or something, you'll be okay.
I'm just here doing my time, right?
Just take it every day as it comes. There's not much else we can do. So.
Oh.
But you've got a very unique perspective, which I don't have, because you've grown up in the era of social media, which I didn't. That's only come to me later. But you're very much part of it. You've grown up into it, which is kind of interesting in many ways.
I didn't have a phone until I was like, 8 or 9? And that meant I already had like my thoughts and feelings. And so that was like becoming more, because I've felt this way since I can remember, but I've like put a name to it since I was maybe like 10. So having them at the same time means that I can like separate everything from like my like spiritual identity. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get.
Yep.
What I see.
I was just thinking, if I'd been 8 years old, when I was 8 years old, if somebody said to me, "I'm going to give you a phone," I would have gone, "What?" Now you're 8 years old and you're going, "When are you going to give me a phone?"
Well, I mean, to put context to it,
I had it for my mum.
Yeah, Evie's mother and I split up when
6.
when Evie was 6, and then her mum was in the military and had gone away, and it was
She's in like Vegas for ages, so
yeah, and then Greece, and it was like, look, you know, I'm going to get you a phone so that you have the ability to message your mum and speak to your mum when you want to. But it was, yeah, I was going to say, from a purely observational point of view, we can have a conversation, and Evie's completely matter of fact. I might just say, you know, just something is like, well, what on the balance of this, you know, and she would just go, no, that doesn't matter. I know that's not real. I know that's not happening. I know there's no body here. I know there's no me here. But this life is being lived, that kind of thing. So she's a full teenager, whilst also completely knowing that this, you know, this indescribable, you know, experience.
So Evie,
is there.
did you? I'm just trying to get this straight. Did you always know that? It just you knew that, or did you have some experience that showed you that?
bit of both. I feel like I always kind of knew that in myself, but obviously, I don't know, I just wasn't like vocalizing it. And then when we were like, when I was like 10, we went to a festival, and I remember coming back from that, and I was just like, whatever energy was there just completely shifted everything in me. And that's when I stopped like being able to like see things in perspective. Like everything just feels 2D to me. Like I might as well be looking at a picture. So ever since then, it was just like, oh, the tree's up there, but it might as well be right in front of me. And it's just it's so annoying, really, because I have actually gotten to reach things that are just like all the way over, and I'm like, also my vision's just weird. Cool.
There was an event when Evie was 7, and she has forgotten it, but we've talked about it before. But she came down the stairs. I bought this house. I was doing it up room by room, and I'd sorted it. I did a loft conversion, and the girls were living in the loft, and Evie was on the top bunk, and I hadn't done another bedroom, so I was sleeping on a sofa bed in the next room. And she came downstairs crying, and I said, "What's wrong, darling?" And she says, "I'm having a spiritual crisis." This is a 7-year-old.
Shut up.
No, but this is the truth. And I said, "Oh no." I said, "You know, come here." She sat with me. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I lay down on the bed," and she says, "and I closed my eyes," and she said, "the roof disappeared, the ceiling disappeared, my eyelids disappeared. There's nothing there."
I got into the mushroom stash, it seems.
She said, "There's nothing there." And I said, "Oh, something, you know, something simple." And she went, "Nothing means anything. It doesn't mean anything." And I simply said, "That's okay, because you'll give it meaning." And she went, "Oh, okay." I said, "You're right now?" She went, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, night night." And she gave me a cuddle and went back to bed.
That's like coming back. I feel like crying.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that
Sounds
was
like a mid-teenage crisis.
at 7.
At 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 7.
years-
No.
Yeah, 7 years old.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That's pretty cool.
And then a younger sister went through something similar at about 6, but hers was, she was seeing the matrix, if you like. So she was seeing the points of energy that make up reality. And she to begin with, she thought they were like spiders or something, white spiders. And then little bit by little bit, as I tried to work out what she was saying, it was like, "Oh, no, what you're seeing are the conjunction points of energy. You're seeing the matrix." And it says it's just energy points. And she was like, oh, and she was kind of grabbing them like this. And she went, "Oh, I get it now." And then she was fine. But yeah.
What are they putting in the water where you live?
Too much fluoride or something. I don't know.
No, but I mean, you've had that, haven't you? Where, as you said, that point when everything you see is now,
Yeah.
you know, so you look at a bright sky, and Evie will say, "Oh, you can see all the points. You can see the energy."
That was after mushrooms.
Well.
No, it was, which is fine. But I could just see all the patterns and stuff. Or if I like focusing on grass, it goes all patterns. It's nice.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty cool addition to my weird vision. The vision's only just gotten like further and further away. It's just like, okay, so now the sky's glittery. I can't see anything. I'm dyslexic.
I mean, what the point is here, she's describing the thing that we don't get taught or that we don't realize is that depth is something the brain adds to our experience. There is no depth at all. And this is provable in science. And many people have talked about this. So for Evie, she doesn't have that depth factor. She her brain is moving between it and adds depth when it really needs it. Otherwise, it's not there. It is a projection, and the brain isn't adding the things to it that we take for granted or have taken for granted. So, yeah. And I don't know how a young brain is capable of dealing with that.
I did have some like not correct, well, not correct, but different perceptions of what I thought like awakening was when you were like figuring it out at the same time. Because I remember being like, "Oh, Dad's gonna reach enlightenment," and I was like, "I'm not gonna have my dad anymore." And I was like, "But I like even when you're angry, but it's you." And it's like, what happens when Dad never gets angry again in his entire life? Because that's what I assumed enlightenment was. I was like, he's gonna turn into Moji or Muji. Like he's never gonna be angry again. I was like, he's just gonna become like Jesus. And I was like, I'm so upset, I'm gonna lose my dad. And I was like, Dad, please. And he was like, it's gonna be fine. Like,
no, I actually, as soon as you started speaking, then I really vividly remember that time when you sat and were crying. I don't want you to understand the world or anything because
like, stay down here with us. Stay down here.
Yeah,
I was like,
was.
don't go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna like float up to heaven. Like.
Well, this is it. This is the mind has this wonderful idea,
Yeah.
It's like I'll never eat meat again. It'll be brown rice and lentils, and I won't drink alcohol, and I'll drive an electric car, and
Yeah.
I'll be a very, very different,
So chill. Just,
I'll wear flaxseed clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here waiting for your ascension.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ascend to 50. I had a friend who told me that one day.
It's the rapture. You're just gonna have to be like, Dad, no.
Yeah, a friend said to me one day, she said, "Oh, we've ascended." And I looked at her and I was like, "Pardon?" She says, "Me and they'd called themselves, they gave themselves new names. And the couple, they said, 'We've ascended.'" I was like, "Oh," and she says, "Yes, Paul, you've got it all wrong. You've got it completely wrong." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "That must be wonderful." "It is, yeah." I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay." I was just didn't know what to say. It was like, "You've ascended."
Yeah, but Eva, he might have superpowers. I mean, that would be really cool, right?
Yes, I say she does.
Oh, I do.
I do. I'm being serious.
What is Paul's superpower going to be?
You've got many, I'd say. Number one is cooking. Can cooking be a superpower?
Cooking's a superpower.
You could have like 4 vegetables and a grain of rice, and it would be like 5-star Michelin chef.
Wow.
So you always turn like a bad situation as good as you can, and you're like you're just really like resilient, and you just know a lot. I think knowledge is power. So
yeah.
You're really strong.
Interesting, isn't it?
Why?
No, it's interesting. No, that's what I'm saying. It is.
You're just like
Paul, she's trying to tell you that you're a bloody know-all. You're just a know-all.
I think maybe
you're just like a walking thesaurus, dictionary, encyclopedia, Bible.
The rapture and the ascension are here now.
Could they be anywhere else, Don?
In the imagination. If you want to suffer,
and when's the
if you want to suffer,
but when is the imagination?
Say that again. That's right.
When is the imagination?
Now.
Can you put anything outside of now, regardless of whether it's real, imagined, or anything else? Could you do it?
Good question. So the ascension is now. So we are ascended all now. This is it. This is the ascension. This is the rapture. We've all been taken up. This is it.
Well, maybe there is.
We all went up, and this is it.
Because I don't think there's any like up or down, heaven or hell. I think it's just like,
Yeah.
the universe experiencing itself, whatever.
The universe experiencing itself. Yeah, that's cool.
Hell is just in the mind.
Yeah, Tanya, I was going to say, if you unmute and your daughter starts talking about her awakening, I'm out of here.
She's like, I've been waiting.
But she's already, she doesn't have to talk it. She's doing it, right? If you just watch her, you can see that she's speaking her awakening without speech.
Lucky.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue just yet.
How old is she?
She's 3 years old, so maybe give her a couple of years. What, Evie? What did you say? You're like 7 or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's sort of like the thing. We're already awake. There's no awakening. We're already awake. All of us, as is,
if you're awake,
as is, we're awake. As is, awakeness is all there is. So there's no awakening. Like Paul is saying, there's nowhere to go. It's all here now. So there's no awakening. That's the imagination saying someday I will awaken.
Yeah.
No, already awoke. Already awoke. Before speech.
Yeah.
Before anything, awokeness. Awakeness. Already. And what I find interesting, what I look at is like for everyone. For the Evie there, young lady, there's Tanya's young daughter, older people like me, the homeless person I just passed not long ago, out on the street in the cold. It's like, it's all awake. Now.
Well,
nowhere to go, nothing to do.
Yeah.
You
sound a little bit like Fred Davis there, I must admit.
I don't like Fred Davis, so.
Oh, don't you? Oh. Why not? Is there something wrong with this unit in its wakefulness?
Before we close out, I want to just give anyone else, if somebody has a comment or a question. Well, I do. This has been a very unusual meeting. I can't quite remember. So, Evie, thank you so much for bringing your old man.
Thank you.
No, Paul, she's a delight. A lot of parents gush about their kids, but yours actually delivered. So
Yeah, we were at forest school and he was talking about me the whole time. I just heard out my earshot. He's like, Evie this, or I'll do this, or all my kids. I've got 7, my grandkids, and all the pictures on my phone.
yeah, no, all parents do that. They always gussy up their kids. So my expectations are a little low and you were just, it was just lovely. Really. Thank you, everybody, to each and every one of you for coming. Really enjoyed it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Michael.
Take care.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Bye.
Americans.
Yeah, happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Oh yes,
Weird.
happy Thanksgiving.